Crook in your back, once you're on in years.
Diddly snaps! My back aches something horrid!
And what do you get for all that work?
Spores will sprout again. Should destroy the area if I want to get rid of them for good.
They say her grace.
Do what they summoned you to do, then pack up and go back.
Slow now.
Forest, mighty forest,
LEBIODA' wept. It is positively resty.
I've sweat dripping.
Pardon me. Perhaps you could help me. You seem a strapping lad.
What's the problem?
I acquired this old storehouse at auction. As it turns out, it stinks like an Ophiri larder and is loud as a Novigrad brothel. Bambotch it all, I infested my life savings. Now I fear to go inside. Do help me, Witcher.
could look into it, maybe. Long as you have the means to pay me.
Fine, so be it. We've a deal.
All right. I'll take a look inside your storehouse.
I've sweat dripping down my bum furrow.
Stinks of carrion. Necrophages. Reeks in here.
And is the storehouse safe?
Come evening, I'm off to the palace.
Well, have you seen to my storehouse?
Storehouse was full of rotten meat. Attracted ghouls I had to get rid of.
Saint LEBIODA'S calloused heels. But is it safe now? Completely?
Mm-hmm. Though I'd advise you to clean the meat out quick, before other ghouls show up.
Of course. Yes, I shall put my men to it, Toussaint. Meanwhile, perhaps you need something? I've a meager stock just now, but come back in 2 days to see a full array. At a discount that will make you cross-eyed.
Was wondering, previous owners, what did they use the warehouse for? Why was it full of carrion?
It was Gottfried Nork's before it was mine. Yes, that Nork. Toussaint's most famed charcutier. That is, until his saucisse à la moutarde poisoned half the court of Her Illustrious Highness the Duchessa.
Take it he fell out of favor.
Favor's not the word. He was cast in prison, all his property confiscated and auctioned off.
Show me what you're peddling. So long.
What's your stones?
Slow now. Whoa.
But I made the best offer.
Mademoiselle, monsieur, we must remain...
Greetings, traveler. Have you any needs?
Mind if I glance at what you got? So long.
Good luck on the path.
A curious land, this Toussaint.
True. Each time I come here, I sense I've entered a fairy tale world.
Most amusingly, the locals believe all that tribe. For instance, the giant, which the night they called Geralt slew, they claim...
For 4 generations. That is how long my family has been producing wine?
Producing plonk unfit to drink, you mean? Which is exactly why you should sell Belgard to me, not him.
As a ducal clerk, I must look after the duchy's best interests. Belgard currently belongs to the treasury. The Minister of the Treasury has clearly expressed his desire that Belgard be handed over to a responsible steward. Yet, diverse troubles beset both your present holdings. Until you resolve them and thus prove yourselves competent, selling Belgard to either of you is out of the question.
Well, happy? This is your fault.
Mine? You're deranged, woman. Hark, good folk! Be it known, Matilda de Vermentino is a cursed, spiteful lunatic!
Doesn't look cursed to me. Just really, really angry. Ticked her off quite a bit, you have.
Truly, how would you know? A shrew tamer, are you?
Better. A connoisseur.
I see we speak the same tongue. So tell me, the swords, you merely wear them to intimidate? Or do you actually use them?
Tools of my trade. I'm a witcher.
Not seeking work, are you? You see, I wish to buy a vineyard. Belgard. Yet that bloody bureaucrat's not likely to sell it to me until I settle my troubles at home, at Coronata.
What kind of troubles we talking about?
It's botched in more ways than one. The herbarium, infested with monsters. My steward, gone missing, with an entire transport of wine. And someone's abducted my herbalist.
A lot of bad luck for one little vineyard.
If you ask me, it's that Matilda, her handiwork. A sugar-sweet face, a temper sharp as horseradish. So will you help?
Good look into it, but not for free.
That goes without saying. What is your rate? Could you not reduce it a shave? That sounds fair.
Sure sounds like work for a witcher. Yeah, I'll help.
I am really, truly grateful. Thank you. My vineyard lies east of here. You're sure to find it. Now forgive me. I must talk to that quill pusher. I might win him over yet.
You're a witcher, yes? I heard you talking to that oafish ogre Liam. Disgusting man. The worst sort. First, seduces with the dashing gaze, the fair face, then reveals a coal-black heart. But that's all beside the point. I stopped you because I want to buy Belgard too. Alas, things are rotten at my own vineyard, Vermentino.
Strange coincidence.
No coincidence. I am certain Liam's thrown a stick in my spokes. Several sticks. My cooper and blacksmith both have mysteriously vanished. Man-eating plants have sprouted on my paths, and strange things are afoot on Pheasant Hill. The list goes on, but the crux is one. I must solve my problems at Vermentino if I'm to stand any chance of acquiring Belgard. Would you help me before you help Liam? I'm willing to pay more than he's offered you. I sense we're close. Very close. Fine. Settled.
I can help. At least try.
Wonderful. You've no idea how much that means to me. My vineyard lies due west. I shall stay here for a time. I must make certain Liam does not pull some stunt while my back is turned.
Gotcha. Farewell.
I stock the larder of the Duchessa herself.
land, this Toussaint.
True. Each time I come here, I sense I've entered a fairy tale.
Most amusingly, the locals believe all that tribe. For instance, the giant, which the knight they call Guillaume slew, they claim it was cursed.
Guillaume will do anything.
Here, all seek to make an impression through what they do.
If only I was healthy.
Empty wine bottles. Leftovers.
Oh, Witcher Geralt, the Duchess's darling.
Can outsiders sign up, or is this a closed event?
Good evening.
Greetings. Leave me in peace, Richard.
Mind your manners.
Saint Lebioda sent you. I must now repair my wagon. They await me at the building site.
So long. Come on, Roach.
Ooh.
Go up to any knight and shout, "The beast!" You'll smell the soil.
Come on now. Faster. Take it easy.
A witcher. We could use one around here. Full time.
Well, I just need to pour without tasting it first.
Is it true peasants gotta carve his cows himself nowadays?
Oh!
Where's that coot gone this time?
Faster.
Well, that is all I ask.
Go, go.
It matters not that a man's as fit as a fiddle if he never gives.
Come on now.
They say storks bring babies.
How's a man to live?
Apologize, old diddler.
What are you selling exactly?
Top quality dyes. Guaranteed to produce intense colors that never bleed.
None for me, thanks.
What do you mean? Even the best warrior must look kempt, care for his appearance. For example, he might favor bright colors to stand out from the crowd, or dark to slip unseen through his lover's window by night.
Usually focus on armor's other attributes. Color's not so important. But I guess there's some sense to what you say.
There certainly is. Please, peruse and purchase. You shall not be disappointed.
Dyeing clothes a popular service around here? Never come across something like this before.
For in the north, all is grey, drab and muted. Quite the opposite to Toussaint. Here, look around and you will see the green of verdant hills, the deep blue of the lake, and the blood red of wine. It's no wonder we love her dyes. A lady will change the color of her dress to match her mood. To green when she is jealous, to yellow when she wishes to radiate joy. A knight, in turn, might, with color, signal the nature of his vow. White to show he's made a vow of chastity, for instance.
Need to stop introducing myself as the White Wolf, then. Fine, show me what you got. Gotta go. So long.
If you've no reason to live, live to spite.
Ew, stinky.
Move it! Hey-ya! Whoa!
You! Hey! With the blades on your back! Help us!
A witcher.
Slow now. Whoa.
She's fit to wed.
What they summoned you to do, then pack up and go back where you came from.
I've a daughter, you know. She's fit to wed. I've a daughter, you know. She's fit to wed. Oh, so fit. Bread adds a spring to your step. Wine a dawn.
Go, go.
Here, kitty, kitty. Meow. Meow.
Hey, Edgar. Are the rumors true? Are there elfin ruins somewhere in the woods? I doubt it myself, but the wife, she went very
Welcome to my humble establishment. What land do you hail from?
Been on the road so long, don't know how to answer that. Let's just say I'm from the north.
Ah, is it true what they say? About the war, death, destruction all about?
Exaggerated. Not by much, though.
Oh, forgive my asking, but I family in Edern, see? So I'm curious. But please, do tell me what I can do for you.
Mentioned you have a family in Edern. Whereabout, if you don't mind my asking?
In Vengerberg. You've been there, perhaps?
Yeah, number of times. It's the hometown of my... friend, let's say. At any rate, pretty town, Vengerberg. Also didn't suffer too much during the invasion, from what I know.
That is a relief to hear. A weight off my shoulders, I tell you.
Show me what you're selling?
terribly barbaric land.
Granny chills.
Keep calm! Start no roars!
Are the rumors true? Are there elfin ruins somewhere in the woods?
I doubt it myself, but the wife, she went very...
Giddy up. Regis. Couldn't have picked some other place to meet him. Regis! I got the place wrong. This is it. Gotta be another way in around here. Agreed to meet a vampire at a cemetery. How much more cliché can you get?
Nothing comes readily to mind.
Could have left the door unlatched.
What of my privacy? I value it rather deeply. Unmolested, especially by unwanted guests, that's my preferred state. Besides, I knew you'd find a way to get in.
True enough. Need to find your friend. I'm hoping you'll agree to help.
I shall do whatever's in my power. Yet what you want or even need must matter little. What matters is what Dettlaff wants. If he does not wish to be found, you will not find him. Ever. End of story.
Come on. Gotta be some way.
Vampires can evade detection by the senses, and no divination magic works on us. Even the most precise megascope would be useless.
And this? Could this help?
Wherever did you get that?
Off one of the beast's victims, found by a bend in the river. Body was chopped in pieces. 3 of those pieces were hands. Hand with the ring seemed the odd one out. Abruxa had taken an interest in it.
It's Dettlaff's hand, without a doubt. It will do splendidly.
The hand. What do you plan to do with it?
You've heard of Kovinaris' theory of tissue memory retention.
Rings a distant bell. Read about it in Alchemia Oblitera. There's a copy at Kaer Morhen, tattered, nearly disintegrated. But if memory serves, Kovinaris never managed to prove it worked.
He did prove it, just never managed to publish his findings. He and I corresponded, you see, after we became friends. Thus, I know he completed his research and performed the first tests. It's complicated, so without delving into details, it is possible to use any piece of tissue to reconstruct what a whole body experienced.
How's it work? We need any special equipment?
We must brew a decoction which Kovinaris gave a rather poetic name, resonance. Once imbibed, it sends one into a trance similar to that induced by narcotics. This triggers visions of events linked to strong emotions experienced by the tissue's owner. Picture it as dreaming a fragment of someone's life.
Any chance we might see what Dettlaff was doing just before he lost his hand?
Indeed. Though I also hope resonance will reveal the location of Dettlaff's hideout.
Ring's pretty intriguing. Made of no metal I've ever seen. And the ornamentation.
It comes from our home, where we lived before the conjunction of spheres. It's actually mine. I received it from a dear old friend. You might call him a humanist. He saw us vampires as guests here, guests who owe their hosts, meaning you humans and the elder races, respect.
Respect? Meaning not to treat us like cattle to be slaughtered for food?
Precisely. And the reason why I in turn gave it to Dettlaff. To remind him of the ideals my old friend championed.
Can't you just summon Dettlaff? You're both higher vampires, there's gotta be a way.
If I'm to be entirely candid, there is indeed one. But believe me, we will be better off never availing ourselves of it. It is a last resort. Absolutely.
Last resort? The hell? Why?
There is a being who can summon Dettlaff. Possesses the authority, even the power, to force him to appear in a given place. But the very act of contacting this being, well, it's akin to walking a slack line extended over a chasm filled with molten lava. An exercise as perilous to me as it would be to you. A risk I'm unwilling to take. I beg you, let's do it my way. It will be both quicker and easier.
Covenarius spent half his life proving his theory. Wild guess. Making a dose of resonance won't be easy.
You guessed correctly. In addition to Dettlaff's tissue, we shall need a powerful occipital lobe stimulant. Effectively a poison, to make one susceptible to visions.
Well, got a few ingredients to choose from. Unfortunately, all are pretty rare. There's Mamoon glands, but closest ones I know of are in Vizima. A spotted white saliva would also serve, but they were cold to extinction over a century ago. Could go with a kobold's eyes, but the creatures are sentient. Rather not gouge one's eyes out.
Given that we lack the time to sleuth this out ourselves, permit me to summon some help.
What was that?
A raven? Rather a common sight at this latitude. Very intelligent fowl. I asked him to look for the creatures you mentioned. Him and his brethren. Perhaps they'll find one in the area, and I would hazard that a flock of ravens will spy any said creature faster than a solitary witcher would. With all due respect to your skills, my friend. It will take them some time, nonetheless, so perhaps you'd care for a snifter of mandrake.
Rarely say no to a snifter.
Sadly, this is but a weak infusion rather than a proper distillate.
Even better. I remember your mandrake hooch. Made people say things they'd have rather kept to themselves.
Now, what could Geralt of Rivia prefer to keep to himself?
So, think you've set a nice little trap for me? Sorry. Want to get me to confess? Gonna have to try harder.
I love a challenge. In that case, my ears are cocked. What must I do?
How about you get the ball rolling? Reveal one of your secrets. Vampires, intriguing creatures, must lead fascinating lives.
Anything in particular interest you?
Curious what you did after you were reborn.
As I'm sure you can surmise, at first I was thoroughly absorbed with recovering. As it is, I've still not recovered completely. Yet I was so weak the first year that I could not stand nor move on my own. Dettlaff bore my weakness bravely, showed great patience. If not for him, I wouldn't be here. And I'd have regenerated far slower. Once I could at last stand unassisted, I set off for Bruges, for my one-time home of Dillingen. There I led the peaceful life of a rural healer and surgeon, enjoying my neighbours' respect and, in fact, constituting the exact opposite of the monstrous vampire the populace imagines.
Bruges, you say? Rebirth make you sentimental?
Perhaps a dash. But what of you? Where have you been? Ever find your Cyrilla?
Back then, yeah. But we parted again soon after. And when the time was ripe, she came back. Defeated the wild hunt together.
Ooh. Seems I certainly missed quite a bit while I was absent.
True enough. But it's a conversation we'll have another time. Need to know more about you now. Gotta ask you the big question. One everyone wonders about. What happens after death?
You wish me to tell you if the human belief in the gods is well founded? Well, that I do not know. We vampires differ exceedingly from you humans. Our matter, that of which we are composed, can exist without form. We require neither a heart, nor a brain, nor air to breathe.
But were you dead?
As humans understand death, yes.
Feel anything? Understand anything?
It's rather hard to explain. I felt something very unsettling. Something I cannot even name, for I did no reasoning. Only after rebirth did I begin to understand that what I had felt was cold and unimaginable fear. If not for Detlef, I might have drowned in an eternity of icy terror.
Can't have been alive then. Sheesh, experience like that must be vicious.
Indeed, it's hard to compare to anything I know. Yet you are aware we don't see death as you do. The way you cling to life, we find it entirely peculiar. You are mortals, ergo it's a foregone conclusion. You will die. It's but a question of time. Thus, I often find myself wondering why you try so very hard. To die at 20 years, 40, even 100, what's the difference? They're all but the blink of an eye.
Depends on your point of view. Man who's got 1,000,000 crowns to spend can't possibly understand one who's only got 20.
Very true. One's outlook can indeed change much.
Got a new life, a new body. That give you a new start? Blank slate?
Starting all anew is a very broad concept. What exactly do you mean?
Your blood addiction, say. Wondering if your body's the same, if it still remembers. Maybe if you drank now, you wouldn't get hooked.
All addictions are a form of slavery. Re-addiction's not a risk I'm willing to take, just to test a hypothesis about corporeal regeneration and whether propensities carry over.
Fair enough. Curiosity, that's all. Sorry.
Not to worry, Geralt. Curiosity is a natural reaction under the circumstances, apart from which I've always valued that trait in you.
Always fascinated me the way vampires can regenerate. A hand growing back is one thing, but Detlef recreating you out of a wet smear? Something else entirely.
A difficult and laborious process, but one that's possible, as my presence proves. But I've heard you too had quite the adventure. They say you lost your memory.
For a bit, but Triss helped me get it back. Actually, pretty damn lucky I only had amnesia.
Yes, you humans are rather buggered in those terms. To strip you of life is, well, it's just plain easy. I've always pitied you in that regard. We vampires are much harder nuts to crack. If a member of another race kills one of us, we can be reborn with a living higher vampire's help. However, if one of our own strikes the deadly blow, death is permanent. There can be no rebirth. One of the chief reasons why vampires long ago swore never to fight one another.
All right, give you one question. What do you want to know?
One question to ask one as fascinating as you, Geralt. Cruel parsimony, I'd say, but I shall do my best to make it count. If you were to die and be reborn as I was, in your new life, would you choose to be a witcher?
That's what interests you most? Whether I'd like to be a witcher again?
Many things interest me, but we've not much time left. Please answer.
Never chose to be a witcher. Fate chose for me. Had it been my choice, I'd have picked a different profession. A profession where I wouldn't have to risk my life every minute of every day. Maybe even one that had earned me some respect.
Thank you for being honest. Honesty is an attribute of the truly brave, and thus a privilege of the very few.
Still no sign of your winged friend. Sure it understood what you wanted?
Dead certain. Let's wait a bit longer. It'll return soon, don't doubt that for a moment. Ever vigilant, even in his sleep. Quite vampire-like, in fact. Are you absolutely certain they don't administer a few of our genes during the trial of the grasses?
Appreciate the compliment. Got something for me?
You were right. No kobolds or mamoons for miles around.
Knew it.
Allow me to finish. You see, there's this spotted white. It haunts an abandoned residence in the Caraberta woods.
Impossible. My brethren hunted down every last spotted white before I was born.
Then it seems you must revise your knowledge of spotted whites. For somehow this one managed to survive your brethren's onslaught. It seems I know this home it haunts. Recall a tale about it. Locals believe the place cursed. Perhaps that's how the white survived entirely unmolested.
Know anything else about this curse?
I don't recall much in particular. Really don't attach much importance to such things. It was mentioned to me as an anecdote, no more.
Come on, search your memory. Something, anything could be important.
I believe it had a relation to hunger, or, perhaps greed, rapacity. Someone was punished for something...
Textbook definition of a curse, pretty much.
Sorry, Geralt, I try not to clutter my mind with the details of every far-fetched tale I happen to hear. What are your thoughts?
A specimen of a species thought long extinct, and a curse, in one place. That a coincidence, or are they related?
Ah, professional curiosity. Personally, I've nothing against you delving into this dilemma, but please remember we need the white's saliva. Nothing beyond that.
Whites rarely appear in the woods, even less likely to find them in abandoned human homes. They inhabit remote wildernesses, old abandoned cemeteries.
What's your point?
This might not be a spotted white after all. Your little helper might have made a mistake.
I sincerely doubt it. Ravens are devilishly intelligent creatures, and they've highly developed observational skills.
What exactly did they observe?
The area around the estate. It's covered in... spoons.
Spoons?
Spare me the skeptical smile. I'm but the bearer of this news. Or perhaps this spotted white is a hoarder. Or the spoons are somehow related to the curse.
Let's do this. Start making your decoction while I go get some saliva from that white. Uses it in its brews.
Do you imagine the white will simply sell you some?
Worst case scenario, I'll bring you its salivary glands. They ought to do as well.
For a moment there I imagined you asking the white to spit into a vial. Quite amusing as a thought, but the salivary glands will do fine indeed.
So, see you later.
Yes, till later. I shall start by perusing some tomes.
Tomes? Thought you were gonna make this decoction.
We require one last ingredient. Alas, obtaining it could prove a trifle toilsome. Thus I hope to identify a suitable alternative.
All right. Good luck.
And to you, my friend.